at the start of the podcast, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Versus the Algorithm, the podcast that takes on the internet. I'm Billy James, and with me is Producer Stylo.
Evening.
How we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain. What about yourself?
I'm all right, my friend. I'm all right. The weather is horrific.
Is the heating on yet?
Do you know what? It's not now, but it has happened.
Awful. I'm clamping down. I've said still there is no heating going on. Wear a jacket.
Other than that, everything is good. Been busy. Yourself? How's dad life treating you?
Oh, just same old. New cold, new virus, new disease brought in from school or nursery.
Lovely.
Nothing new or different here. Only one exciting thing that I think we need to discuss.
Yep.
I attended a Billy James gig.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you pissed off one of the other acts.
No, I mean, it was sort of not my fault. I mean, we might get them on it, so we could save that to discuss with them.
We do need to do that.
Yeah, that was quite the awkward moment. Yeah, no, that wasn't that. Well, I still argue it wasn't really my fault, and I was polite about it, but you know.
We'll look out for that because, we definitely want to get her on the pod, and we will definitely arrange that. So we will discuss her hatred for you then.
Yeah, we can cover all of that. So let's talk. New material night went well, didn't it?
It did
for you.
Yeah. I angered less people than you did, so that was good. No, it was good. It was good. I was trying out some new stuff. I've got this whole wodge of new stuff, which it's kind of just drawing on a previous life, as it were, and just talking about music stuff, basically being in a band, that sort of thing. And just been trying that out, and it's been going well. So I think it's going to stick around. And actually, there was another bit. We're going to talk about the clip shortly, but there was a clip which I made recently, which I'm now trying to turn into a bit of material. And at the moment, it's kind of working. So
that's decent. I think one thing that we definitely need to sort of get out to the public. I mean, bear in mind, this was like a new material night, a free entry Thursday night thing. And I think we need to get out to the public that it is not acceptable to get ridiculously hammered on Thursday night at a free comedy gig and heckle someone it's their first ever gig. Just for any members of the public that listen, that is not acceptable. That is dick behaviour.
That was pretty dick behaviour. That was. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, man, that was
a bloke. Yeah, he handled it well. But I mean, it was his first time. He must have been nervous. Yeah. Absolutely shitting it, and then
I tell you what, she was very lucky that she didn't go after one of the seasoned people like yourself there, because she'd have got hammered. I mean, more hammered than she already was. For that, I mean, it's just a dick move.
Yeah, it was. It happens, unfortunately. Some people don't know how to behave at a comedy night. That's the thing, but all part of the game, I guess. So new material night. So I did a clip which was Blink-182 related. I fucking love that band. I'll put the clip here.
Dorothy, where are you? I'm behind you, you blind bastard. Oh, 'cause I've shit myself again. Well, I guess this is growing up. Dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo. Nanny. I said don't call me Nanny. Call me na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
And then from that, basically, I've taken the idea of being older and still loving a particular kind of music, bit of nostalgia, still referencing them songs when you talk, all that sort of thing. And I'm trying to put that into a bit about being a granddad, and then using all these different situations where I then bring up song lyrics. And it all came from that clip, which is good. So the clip did shite, but at least something else has come from it. It actually works all right live. It works quite nicely.
So it works better with a like live receptive audience as opposed to on the internet.
Yes. Well, yeah. So it wasn't like the whole bit. So basically, the last part of that, where I basically say that I want to find a woman that doesn't want to be called Nana. She wants to be called Nana, 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 Nana. So that's the whole kind of the gist. Obviously, I'd sort of tee it up or whatever. And yeah, it's going quite nicely. And one night, the audience started joining in singing, and I was gutted I didn't film that. I'm hoping that happens again. That would be good.
You need to, again, that's like we've discussed before about you posting more of your stand-up clips and stuff like that. That'd be an ideal opportunity to have that on there.
Yeah, that would be good. But I'm trying to think of more songs, more classic songs that can be used in that. So I've got a line for just Craig David, 7 Days. That's one I'm trying out at the moment. I've got another one, Jay-Z, 99 Problems. And I'm trying to think of songs that everyone would know that can have lyrics from those songs used in a particular situation, which might be comedic, hopefully.
I think that's quite a relatable piece.
Yeah. No, good. I'll keep chipping away at it. But if there's any absolute bangers you can think of that everyone would know and know the lyrics to, that might relate to some kind of situation when you're old, that's what I'm looking for.
I don't think it necessarily has to be something when you're old that can just relate to any situation. I assume. Yeah.
It's just I'm kind of framing it around putting myself in the position of the granddad talking to my grandson. That is it. So he's asking questions about him or life, and then I'm coming back to him with lyrics from a noughties pop song or something. Kind of thing.
I do.
So I'm chipping away at that at the moment. That's something I'm working on. But it all came from that clip, which, as I say, didn't do great. That I put quite a bit of effort into that because I wrote the bit, I had the idea, and I thought, okay, right, I sit down and work out song lyrics and stuff and how it fit together. So I'm not saying I spent ages on it, but I spent a bit of time. I sat down, worked it out, filmed it, sort of generally spent more time on it. And I think it got about 600 views on Instagram. I think fairly similar on TikTok, and not that many likes, probably, I think it was only about 20 odd on Instagram. And then it was about 50, 60 on TikTok, but again, not great. However, then the other side of things is on Blink 182 related clips. We were in Primark one day, and you just saw on the front. Sorry, life is going that well. It's in Primark.
I was going to say, if any representatives from Primark hear this and would like to, honour us for such publicity, then they are more than welcome to provide sponsorship. My kids go through clothes ridiculously, and Primark is cheap and good for them. So,
It is cheap. I've basically revealed how poor I am. So that's cool.
A working comic, you are not Michael McIntyre yet.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. So therefore, maybe I should reword that and say, I was in a shop that sells clothes one day, and there was an array of socks on the wall. And one of them said work socks. And then, of course, the idea came not from me. I need to give credit to a lovely person.
Are you ashamed that you have a significant other, or are you just ashamed that she's funnier than you?
I don't talk about her in my set. I'm still single in my set, you see. This is the thing. The reason, right? There was a reason.
Mate, and you keep acting like that, you might actually be single soon.
But I had this whole idea that I was building towards, which I had an idea for a show, which I'm convinced would be a great show, but I would need to be single for it.
As in like a stand-up show, or?
Yes, yeah. So like an idea for an actual concept for the show. And I just can't get it. I can't make sense of it. So I might just sack it off and then just start being that guy who's in a relationship that's punching.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could, like, with a lot of your like material referencing being single, you could work it so that it's past tense.
Yeah. And I should say, like, when it was Britain. I was. Basically, we've gone off on a massive tangent here. Might cut all that out.
I mean, what I'd like to raise about this is so that if the comedy stuff started prior to your lovely other half, you told me about your other half before you told me about your comedy career, which makes the delay in telling me about your comedy career even worse.
Yeah.
And I mean, sorry to keep banging on about it, but the new information keeps arising.
I'm a terrible friend. What can I say? But now you hear too much about it, if anything. So sorry about that.
I don't think I can ever hear too much about it, mate.
Charmer, absolute charmer. But yeah, basically, we're in the shop. There's socks on the wall. One of the pairs of socks says work socks. Now, of course, that can be related to the great Blink-182 song, All the Small Things. Basically did a pan-in shot coming down for the second verse when it's like late night, come home, and then it comes to the work socks instead of work sucks. I know. Literally no effort, took seconds, and didn't take long to edit at all, just threw the music over the top. That did way better than all the ones that took effort. And I kind of feel like maybe I should maybe that's the secret.
Not make effort.
Don't make effort, don't care, put out any old shite. But
again, to some extent, that kind of shows that the level of actually sometimes the simplest ideas are the best ideas.
Yeah, true. Maybe I'm trying to be too clever.
Something that sometimes I think you can be guilty of with your comedy as well as some of your short stuff. Sometimes you overthink things.
Yeah, no, fair.
And sometimes actually the rawest, snappiest, simplest way is sometimes the best.
And there was an example of that the other day when you helped me out because I had a punchline for a bit. I couldn't suss it. Hey, Stylo, I've got this. This is how the joke is. This is what I want from it. This is the punchline. What am I missing? And then you came back and like, bear in mind, you don't do comedy at all. You came back within a couple of minutes. Like
that almost sounds like you're saying I'm not funny.
Oh God, no! You are sometimes. Sometimes
you're
hilarious.
Not funny, I mean, you don't do comedy. You are not funny. But this one time.
No, but you're very good. You're very good at like putting it together, and I'm just complimenting you because you don't sit down and write things. You don't sort of like.
I mean, if I get a thought that's for like your shorts and stuff like that, I will ping it your way for you to brainstorm it and think about it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like I'm not actually, other than writing parts of your set, I'm not actually versed in the actual art of comedy.
Yeah, but no, you've got a good mind for it because honestly, I just for anyone that does stand up, if you're really just stuck on something, because that's what happens sometimes, then I really don't see the harm in messaging a mate like yourself, or I've got a couple of friends, Abby and Narang, who are great as well, and they always will listen to my shite. I just think it's really
sometimes like vocalizing it without the pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you vocalized it to an audience, there's that pressure that if they don't laugh or respond, that dictates the rest of your set. Whereas opposed to vocalizing it to someone like me, we can sort of go, oh, maybe you could word it a bit better and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think, but I just couldn't see, and my head was so one way, I needed someone else's mind to see another. We should say as well, because you keep looking, and also I can keep hearing this little jingle in the background. Yeah, kids, keeping an eye, daddy duties.
Yeah, children are, the littlest is fidgeting about, whinging.
Yeah.
The wife is in with the eldest. So yeah, I'm sort of supervising from afar.
You're a good lad, you are. I didn't know if it was that or you were on one of those like cam girl sites and you were just kept sending money. I think that's
James,
what happens.
You should know me. Yeah, there's lots of dissect that. A, you should know me for long enough that I wouldn't pay. Secondly, you've clearly opened up to the whole general public about what kind of sites you go on.
I know. I'm just aware it happens. I'm just aware. That's all.
But you seem to know a lot about what you do with contributing and stuff.
I mean, I don't know. I'm too tight. I would never do that. I'm far too tight. 100%. Oh dear God.
Yeah. Sorry. Back to what we were talking about. the fact that I write all your comedy for you.
So yeah, the socks one actually got 1,700 views on TikTok and 120 something likes, which it's not amazing or anything, but compared to the other one, which had all the effort, is a big difference. And on the subject of making no effort, right now, this saddened me because I was making a joke at the expense of a legend of the game, Dave Grohl. Obviously, he had some news that came out with regards to
infidelity.
That's the one. I was thinking, how do I put this? I mean, not that he's ever going to listen, but
I tell you what, it'd be great for the podcast if he listened and started responding back to you about it. I'm all for that publicity. Yeah, I'd like to say that I've never said anything bad about Dave Grohl, and I'm a massive fan.
Big time.
All opinions that are provided are Billy James's, his own, and not shared by producer Stylo.
Thanks for clearing up. No, I love him. I love him. I love Dave Grohl. He's an absolute legend of the game. And it was, surprising news that came out with regards to, like you say, he's having a baby outside marriage, and it's all, their business. Let's not go on about that. But basically, into my mind came the idea for a clip of just him coming home to his missus, and then the famous first line from one of their songs, "I've got another confession to make." And it was about an hour after he'd posted it. I thought, okay, this is pretty fresh. It was comparatively, only by my standards, as I like to caveat, 9,378 views and 183 likes. Better than stuff that I actually put thought into. Typical.
But again, it comes back to that sometimes the simplest ideas are the best ideas.
True. And the other thing is it's current. It was something that was happening. So people, I don't know if they were searching for that sort of stuff or whatever, but because it was happening and I was reacting to that, maybe that helped. Maybe that's something I need to keep an eye on as well when all these stories come out.
Yeah, because you have sort of, to some extent, you missed the boat with kind of the, getting controversially discussing the P. Diddy stuff.
Yeah.
And, but as well, to some extent, the whole Vince McMahon documentary stuff.
Yeah.
You sort of missed the boat with some of those.
Yeah, but I need to be a bit more on it. I do. There was another one I did which got a couple of thousand views on TikTok, which was just, I'm a big Modern Family fan. Love it. I know you've just started watching it again, right? You've come back into it.
I watched like a few series, sort of ended up having other things that came up, but I've just started getting back into it again.
Yeah, just the best. It's so good, so well written. So basically, when Phil often, when he answers the phone, he'll have a funny line and then it'll result in a word that sounds a lot like hello. And there's one that he does about, I can't remember what the line is now.
What's the best first-person shooter about genetically modified space marines? Halo.
And there was a Halo arcade machine. So I just did that line when it panned to the Halo machine afterwards. And that just stupid, again, in the moment, zero effort thing did better than the other stuff. So yeah, no effort is going into anything anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Including anything to follow that sentence.
Some would argue a lot of your comedy doesn't take a lot of effort anyway, but
There's another one I just posted, which was, I enjoyed it. It was very silly, and that kind of is the kind of stand-up I do. It is pretty damn silly, to be fair. It was just one that I'm going to plonk in about now.
I can't stand people that send correction texts. Like, I'll see you at the shoe. I mean show. Obviously. Where the fuck is he?
And in that final shot, it's me stood in a shoe. That's what the joke is, that I've gone to the shoe because I've taken the text seriously, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I just thought it was quite funny. It's done okay on Instagram, bearing in mind some of my previous ones, but it's been weird. It's been really slow. It's like 10 likes a day over 3 days, 4 days, and it's gone up to a few thousand views. but it's just been this weird kind of gradual. It did all right on TikTok as well. It did okay. I think it's 60 likes or something like that. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. And I was thinking of doing another one. And actually, a friend of mine, Tamsin, commented on that particular one and said, like, oh, I want more of these, like, Duck Off, for example. And I was thinking could do another one with that when it just cuts to me speaking to my duck and about how this other guy has challenged me with his duck to face my duck to find out who is the superior duck. Yeah. And I think it's just fucking stupid, and I quite like it because I'm an idiot.
You could almost have like your conversation could be like put it towards the duck, as in like prepping him, being like, come on, like psyching him up.
Yeah.
So have you got any other new ideas or anything you've got planned in the works?
I've got a couple of ideas which I kind of want to do next. Like there's one idea about just, how, I mean, I don't really do it, but say you're in a club where I have been before by accident, detour, like your stag do, for example, a rare occasion when I'm in a club, it just doesn't go together, does it? But I'm on the dance floor. I don't have great moves. I tend to just stand there, hold my beer and waddle a bit. And that's about it, really. So I was kind of going to compare that to what I'm like in the car when I've got my tunes on, when I just start fucking throwing the hands, they're all going, I'm fucking air drumming, I'm doing these these like gangster hand things, which I don't know why. That's the only time they ever come out, but if I'm in the car, shit happens.
Did you find that it's car that you tend to let your inhibitions out, not to sound like Natasha Bedingfield, but you let out and do your true dancing there? Because I find this the kitchen.
Kitchen's the other one. I knew you were going to say that. As soon as you said it, I thought, fucking kitchen.
I think kitchen, washing up and cook it. I genuinely, I don't know if you, but have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
Probably haven't.
Oh no,
have you?
I have. Yeah. Don't
so
doubt me.
So you know the opening to NSYNC Bye Bye Bye. Me and my mate Marshy, when I lived with him, we genuinely did the washing up to that song and would dance.
I bet that was special.
Doing the way our mate, well, he washed, I wiped, but genuinely, like household chores and stuff like that. That's when you do your freest dancing.
Yeah.
So I reckon there is something kind of in that.
Yeah, I think I could do a series, maybe do a few of them. Although I can't really do it. I need a better kitchen. That kitchen out there does not deserve to be filmed. That is not going on live.
You do your like green screeny background one, so you could just put a posh kitchen in there.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like when you're saying that there, it'd like be cool to actually be doing something whilst it's happening, like literally actually cooking or washing up or whatever. But there is a move on the horizon. Hopefully.
The comedy's going well, is it, mate?
No. Basically, new kitchen, new TikToks. I think that's the time. That's the time.
Yeah, I think that's quite good, especially if you're using like the same, like you say, doing a series. You could use different songs and then different like locations, because like it just pops to my head like Salt and Pepper Push It.
Yeah.
If you're doing like the vacuuming or something, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like, that's quite
yeah.
like a dance along to that with the vacuum, whereas you wouldn't do anything like that in a club.
Yeah. I can't say I've heard that song in a long time. Where'd that one come from? Fuck me.
It just popped in my head, mate. I don't know why. Maybe I'm showing my age or the kind of venues that I've been to before. It's a good. Only if you're local to us, you will know this, but that is a very chapel.
Oh, the chapel
song.
It took 3 episodes for the chapel to come up. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good times.
Hell of a venue.
Big time.
I did have this is partly a work flashback that I've had a story. Was the idea I had was comparing who's the biggest nerds or like the biggest dudes. So a bloke that I used to work with used to have a board games night with his mate.
Yeah.
And they played like board games like Risk and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
was hammering once for being a nerd.
Yeah.
And like he raised what I can only describe as quite a valid point, that the biggest nerds going are people that follow football.
Right. Okay. Well,
Because-
how did he justify that?
Well, because nobody talks about stats more than football fans. XG, Opta stats, all those kinds of things. Nobody watches programs religiously, follows all those other things as much as football fans.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, the different metrics that you've got, again, I don't know what you would maybe do the comparison to. I don't know how, like, what other things like the Dungeons and Dragons use stats and like hit points and stuff like that. Whereas you look at football fans looking at fantasy football, things like Ultimate Team. So essentially, Ultimate Team on FIFA or EAFC or whatever it is no different to things that other geeks play.
Yeah.
It is just because it's football. Apparently, it's popular.
Yeah. The Football Manager.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Football Manager, yes.
All about it. All about the stats.
So yeah, so I wasn't sure if you could cultivate an idea on that about like how ultimately the fandom and the nerdy side of it is exactly the same. It's just because football's a more generally favoured sport. It's not looked at being nerdy.
No, that's a good observation. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, definitely something in that.
So,
I have to
so I don't know how you'd work it, but it's something that could potentially be looked at.
just visualizing the football guy just having his mind blown by the fact that when the actual nerd comes back with him about how he's the actual nerd. Oh shit. Yeah, good point.
You could have it as like that thing, but then the ending of it is the like football fan just beats up the nerd. Because that's what he'd resort to. He's been outsmarted in the argument and then just beats up the nerd.
Yeah.
Or there's the whole kind of thing of like you have it from like the football fan's point of view, who's taking the mick out of someone for being nerdy and statistic, and then just starts talking about his fantasy team and the points that they've got and those kind of all the Football Manager stuff. And it's just like, that's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. We will get stuck into that, see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
There was another one which I was going to run by you just because I kind of feel like I've noticed a difference between what TikTok likes and what Instagram likes. For me personally, anyway.
Yeah.
Like some of the silly, stupid stuff seems to fly better on TikTok than it does on Instagram. But on Instagram, there's a lot of people that do stand-up comedy and stuff that are doing videos that just talk to the camera. It's just walking along a track or whatever, camera in their face, saying their bit.
No thrills or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like just...
Yeah. Basically, just them walking along, camera in the face, talking to the camera, and it seems to really work on Instagram. So I was kind of thinking maybe about trying to repackage a joke that I've tried on TikTok and seeing if it works better on Instagram. And it made me think of, do you remember I did one about, I actually used it in a stand-up set at one point. It was Deadpool related, so I put it out as a thing on TikTok, and it just felt too dark, so I didn't put it on Instagram.
My friendship group recently lost one of our own. Our dear friend Paul, who was a massive Marvel fan. We actually dressed up as superheroes in his honour. We were all allocated one of his favourites, and everyone smashed it. Apart from one guy, who came out wearing the clothes of the deceased. He'd completely misunderstood when he was told to dress up as Deadpool.
So from that, I was kind of thinking I could do a version where I'm talking about it as if it happened at the weekend, and it's just me talking to the camera, walking down a track. And I know it sounds stupid. I just thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to compare how a clip does, essentially the same clip, but how it's presented on one platform to another. So I thought maybe I could try and get that together and give that a whirl at some point.
I think it comes across quite well. It's quite...
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's supposed to be like a setup kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know, if people find it more engaging because it's like someone's talking to you, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Because my as we discussed before, my actual stand-up is a lot sillier, so I kind of almost feel like it relates to the silly little skits quite nicely. However, if they're not washing, then maybe it is worth just trying something else just to compare. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. But this has been fun. This has been nice. This has just been me and you having a little chat of the shit.
Just conversing about, well, just this is the kind of thing that we do without the, rude voice notes to each other that are unnecessary.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of them. Lovely little ice cream van in the background.
It's not, yeah. To be fair, I could just turn the volume down so that you can't hear it.
Fucking tell me that at the end of the.
Yeah, but it then also caveats with the fact that I can't hear the children.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, go on then.
Sorry that the well-being of my children comes second to a podcast that I don't get paid for.
And never will. But yes, no, good stuff. I will speak to you very soon, man. This has been a pleasure.
Cool. Catch you later. Take it easy, buddy.
See you later.
This is the theme at the end of the podcast, yeah.